Hey, Jonathan from NorthCoastTrader.com, and in this video today I'm going to talk all about supply and demand trading with a level on top of a level, or more known as a nested area of supply and demand. So by the end of this video you're going to have a good concept exactly how to find those types of levels upon top of levels and how you can actually look to use them to your advantage when trading with a supply and demand approach. Now first I'm going to go over on the whiteboard and actually demonstrate what a level on a level would look like, and then we'll go over to some live charts and we'll look at what it's like on a live price chart as well. Now I do suggest, if you haven't already watched the previous video in this series, is to go back and watch that top-down analysis routine and how it's going to help you to find trades with combination of this level upon level video as well. Now, if you haven't already seen that video, I'll leave a link above now so you can go back and watch that video if you wish. Now, of course, if you are new to the channel today, then thanks for coming, and why not take the time to subscribe to the YouTube channel right now, and don't forget to hit that notification bell because then you'll be notified the next video I release. So a level upon level, what does this mean? Well, once we have a previous area of, let's say, a monthly demand zone being created, we've seen the market rally away. Sometimes when we see the market rallying away and it pulls back inside that area of demand, and that comes into the fact here where it's a fresh or tested area of demand. And remember, that's a video in a previous video that you can go back and watch. I'll actually leave that video at the end of this video so you can watch that video if you wish. When the market then rallies out, and this could be a monthly or a weekly swing in the market. Now, let's say for sakes for a level, top of a level, this is a weekly area, and that's created a weekly area of demand. What that then means is that we have this weekly area of demand now nested inside the monthly demand zone. But what does that mean for taking a trade? Well, this means when the market now comes back and comes back with this monthly swing, we'll have swings that are being created here on the weekly on the way up. Now that's multiple time frames inside a swing, so we have a weekly swing pattern inside that one swing on the monthly time frame. Now if that's a concept you'd like me to do on this channel, talk about the swings inside swings and how to identify those, then perhaps leave a comment below and let me know if you'd like to see a video based on that. Now when the market comes back in, and this is where we have an area of demand nested inside that monthly demand zone, that weekly. When the market now comes back in here, we have a much higher probability for an entry because we have a nested zone or a layer on top of another layer of demand for a better entry. Now this can happen on multiple time frames, and it can happen on different time frames at different times. But what you want to do is really look at the time frames. So we have the monthly. We want to look at the next time frame. They are the two time frames what are key in this type of trading. We want to see a daily nested inside a weekly area of demand or supply, depending on what you're looking at in the market. Same, you want to see a 4-hour area of demand nested inside a daily area. Now the key thing here to remember is that when you're looking at this type of approach, you need to, one, make sure you're going with the right direction on the higher time frames. Now that comes into that top-down analysis routine where I said go through and watch that video at the end of this video, or you can go and watch it now. Now remember also the multiple time frames will come into this as well. So when we're looking for a nested zone, the simple way to do this is to understand those trends in the market. Now there is a video all about determining the trend that you'll find within this channel. So go through and watch that video as well once you've done with this video. And again, like I said, if you want to see a video understanding about trends inside swings in the market, let me know and leave a comment below if that is something that you believe is going to help you with your trading as well with supply and demand. Now that's a brief introduction on the idea of what it's going to look like with a level on top of a level. Now I'm going to go over to the charts and we'll go through some price charts And we'll see if we can find this same situation I've just been through on the whiteboard, so you can then clearly see what you'll be looking for when drawing this out on your own charts. So as we went through in the first part of this video, we're now going to go through some price charts and demonstrate to you exactly what it is when we have a nested area of supply and demand, or should I say a level on top of a level, and how it's going to help you to actually find trades with the use of everything you've already learned so far going through the YouTube channel. And remember, if you haven't watched the previous video with top-down analysis, I do suggest going back and watching that video, because then this level upon a level is going to help you to really fine-tune your entries with supply and demand. So what is a level on top of a level on a price chart? Well, first we have to identify an area of supply or an area of demand. And the easiest way to do that, we're going to look from current price to the left, and we can see where the last areas are on the chart. So this is an area of supply, and that's been removed. So we'll draw the next area of supply, which is this zone right here. Now, if you don't know how to draw these zones, or you don't know exactly what I'm now doing on the charts, what I suggest doing is going back and watching those first videos on how to identify and how to draw these zones. Because if you don't understand what I'm doing right now, drawing the zones, it's going to be much more complicated for you to understand the rest of this video. So once I identify this zone, I'm now going to draw it out so it doesn't disappear with a box. This is my area of supply. Where's my nearest area of demand? Well, there is in fact an area of demand here, but what I'm going to do, I'm just going to draw this area of demand for now. And then we'll go down to a weekly time frame. What we're looking for is a nested zone. Looking back to the left, we know that this is our last high in the market. Looking to the left, we have some zones here. So we can now mark out this area of supply on the weekly. Now that is nested inside this area, but it's not fully nested. It is a zone on top. A zone that is fully nested would be this zone here in the market. So as you can see, this zone right here, I'm just going to not go quite to the top so you can see the zone. This zone is fully nested inside that zone. That's what we class as a zone on top of another zone, or nested inside a zone. Now, the further you go is you can also then have this zone we've just drawn is also on top of another zone. So we have lapping zones. So we can have a zone nested inside a higher time frame zone. That's something you learn on that top-down analysis. Or you can have a zone nested on top of another zone on the same time frame. That's when we tend to see a lot of price action like this. When we see a lot of choppy price action up and down, many times you're going to see a zone overlap into another zone. That's just showing you where the market is slowly making its move. So when we see this, these are areas of current supply. Let's remove this line. For an area of demand, remember we have this area of demand. As you can see, that is nested inside where this higher time frame area. So that's a zone on top of a higher time frame zone. But we could also draw, once again, I'm not going to draw on the chart, but we could also draw this zone here. And as you can see, this zone would be, the zone I first drawn would be on top of this zone. So that's a zone on top of another zone on the same time frame. So that's how you would look to mark those zones. And what you could potentially do, let me just remove that once again, you could actually look to draw the whole zone like this. So instead of drawing two zones, you just draw the one zone. This will allow you to see the entire zone of those two zones. So there's the two differences, that you can have a zone on top of another zone on the same time frame. And what we look to do is combination of adding those two zones together to give you one complete zone. And then you'll have the zone which is nested on top of a higher time frame zone. When we see this using top-down analysis, that is where it's going to help you to find those probability high winning trades. When we go to the next time frame, which is the daily, Let's just go down. I'm going to remove this off the chart. Let's just remove this as well. So let's go down to daily. So on the daily time frame, we can then look at, again, the market has dropped out and we've created this area of supply, which is now obviously nested on top of the higher time frame, the weekly zone, the monthly zone. And again, we drop down, we create another area of supply. And again, if this market dropped lower, it would create this area of supply. And as you can see, we have an overlap here on those two zones. So if you saw an overlap like that, what you could potentially do, and this is in, if the market dropped lower, removing this low, then you could look at drawing out the whole zone like this. There's no point drawing those zones on the same time frame as they overlap. So that is the idea of a zone on top of a zone on a same time frame and a zone nested inside a higher time frame. Remember, there's two differences there. We didn't go through that on the whiteboard because I thought it'd be easy to demonstrate on a price chart. Always remember, if you're going to have a zone on top of another zone on a same time frame, just combine it as one big zone. And then you can look for the market when it comes back in, and you've got that whole zone to look to trade from. When you have a zone nested on top of a higher time zone, that is going to give you a higher probability for a trade because you're going with the higher time frame. So hopefully this video is going to help you to start identifying those zones on top of other zones and help you to draw a larger zone on the same time frame and to use that top-down analysis with the idea of looking for nested zones for the better, higher probability trades. Now, if this has helped you with identifying these type of zones, why not like the video today and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel right now. Now, if you stick around and continue to watch the rest of this video, you can then go on to watch the next video in this series.